Have you ever felt like you're just floating through life, not getting any closer to your dream self? Maybe you get this feeling every time you see a motivational quote on social media, when you think of all the things you're going to change and all the things you're going to achieve. You say to yourself, this is it. This is the day I'm going to make it happen. But before long, you're back to your old ways, no closer to your vision. How can you escape this trap? How can you make real and lasting changes in your life? How can you make the habits you want easy and effortless? Atomic Habits by James Clear is a book that shows you how. In this video, we'll learn how to master any skill with the 1% rule, a simple but powerful strategy that can help you improve anything you do. So subscribe to the channel and let's get started. Welcome to the fundamentals of transforming your life with small but powerful changes. In this part, you will discover how making tiny adjustments in your daily habits can lead to big results. It's like sowing seeds that sprout into magnificent oaks, one step at a time. Let's get started with the first chapter and see how to master any skill with the 1% rule, and that is the surprising power of atomic habits. Now let me share this story. Alice was a mediocre writer who wanted to become a best-selling author. She had a lot of ideas, but she never finished any of her projects. She always got stuck in the middle or lost interest or gave up. She blamed her lack of talent, her lack of time, her lack of inspiration. She thought she needed a big breakthrough, a sudden flash of genius, a lucky break. One day she came across a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. She was intrigued by the title and decided to give it a try. She learned that the secret to mastering any skill was not to make huge changes, but to make tiny ones. She learned that by improving just 1% every day, she could achieve incredible results in the long run. She learned that by changing her habits, she could change her life. She decided to apply the 1% rule to her writing. She set a simple goal: to write 100 words every day. No matter what, she would write 100 words every day. It didn't matter if they were good or bad, if they made sense or not, if they were part of a story or not. She just had to write 100 words every day. At first, it was hard. She struggled to find the motivation, the time, the energy. She felt like she was wasting her time, writing nonsense. But she persisted. She wrote 100 words every day. Gradually, it became easier. She started to enjoy writing, to look forward to it, to crave it. She found herself writing more than 100 words every day, sometimes 200, sometimes 300, sometimes more. She started to finish her projects, to polish them, to submit them. She started to get feedback, to get rejections, to get acceptances. She kept writing 100 words every day. After a year, she had written over 36,000 words. That's enough for a short novel. After 2 years, she had written over 72,000 words. That's enough for a long novel. After 3 years, she had written over 108,000 words. That's enough for an epic novel. She had also written dozens of short stories, essays, articles, and poems. She had published some of them in magazines and anthologies. She had won some awards and contests. She had built a fan base and a network of fellow writers. She had become a best-selling author. She had achieved her dream, all thanks to the 1% rule. Alice's story teaches us that we can master any skill with the 1% rule, which is the idea of improving just a little bit every day. It tells us that by making small and consistent changes in our habits, we can achieve amazing results in the long term. It tells us that we don't need to make drastic or unrealistic changes, but rather focus on the process and the progress. It tells us that we can transform our lives by taking action and sticking to it, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem at first. Here are some questions that can help us reflect on our daily habits from this chapter. What are some of the daily habits that you want to improve or change in your life? How can you apply the 1% rule to make small but consistent progress in your habits? How do you track and measure your habits and celebrate your achievements? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. Now let's move to the next chapter of Atomic Habits and learn to master any skill with the 1% rule, and that is how your habits shape your identity and vice versa. Think of your habits as the building blocks of your identity. Every small action you take contributes to the construction of who you are. If you consistently hit the snooze button, you start seeing yourself as someone who lacks discipline. Conversely, if you make your bed every morning, you begin to identify as a person who values order and productivity. Now let's look at a story that perfectly illustrates this lesson. Larry Ellison, the co-founder of Oracle Corporation, is a perfect example of how good habits can lead to success. He was born in New York City in 1944 and was raised by his adoptive parents in Chicago. Despite dropping out of college, Ellison went on to become one of the wealthiest people in the world. Ellison's success can be attributed to his strong work ethic and his ability to build good habits. He has been known to work long hours and has a reputation for being a demanding boss. However, he also has a habit of taking time off to relax and recharge, which helps him stay focused and productive. One of Ellison's most famous habits is his commitment to physical fitness. He is an avid tennis player and has been known to play for hours on end. He also enjoys sailing and has competed in several high-profile races. Ellison's commitment to good habits has paid off in many ways. He has been named one of the most influential people in the world by Time magazine and has received numerous awards for his contributions to the tech industry. Now, let me tell you a story about Larry Ellison that may make you laugh. One day, Larry was working so hard that he forgot to eat lunch. When he finally realized it was time for dinner, he was so hungry that he decided to order a pizza. But when the pizza arrived, he realized that he had forgotten to specify what toppings he wanted. So Larry decided to get creative. He took out his phone and started scrolling through his contacts list. When he found a friend who owned a pizza restaurant, he called him up and asked him to make him a pizza with everything on it. The friend was confused, but agreed to make the pizza anyway. When the pizza arrived, Larry was surprised to find that it had everything from pepperoni and mushrooms to pineapple and anchovies on it. But being the good sport that he is, Larry decided to give it a try. To his surprise, Larry loved the pizza. He realized that sometimes it's good to step outside your comfort zone and try something new. And who knows, you might just discover your new favorite food. So if you want to be successful like Larry Ellison, start by building good habits. But don't forget to have fun along the way. Let's move to the next chapter from why tiny changes make a big difference, and that is how to build better habits in 4 simple steps. Now that we've learned the basics of the 1% rule, let's see how we can apply it to our habits. In this section, we'll explore how to build better habits in 4 simple steps. These steps are based on the 4 laws of behavior change, which are make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. By following these steps, you can create habits that are simple, enjoyable, and effective. You can also use them to break bad habits by doing the opposite. Let's dive into the first law and see how to make your habits obvious. This means that you need to make your desired habits visible and easy to notice. For example, if you want to read more books, you can put them on your bedside table, your desk, your couch, or anywhere else you spend a lot of time. This way, you'll see them every day and be reminded to read them. Or, if you want to drink more water, you can fill a big bottle and keep it near you throughout the day. This way, you'll always have water within reach and be encouraged to drink it. Making your habits obvious helps you overcome the problem of forgetting or ignoring them. It also helps you trigger the right behavior at the right time and place. By making your habits obvious, you can create a clear and simple cue that tells you what to do next. Let's dive into the first step to make it obvious. The author named it The Man Who Didn't Look Right. Imagine you're in a world of spies, and there's this one guy who just didn't quite fit in. He didn't look right, didn't act right, and, well, he stood out like a sore thumb. Now, think about your habits as secret agents. They have their disguises and triggers. Our habits, like that spy who was detected because he didn't blend in, can trip us up if we aren't conscious of the triggers that set them in motion. So, the takeaway here is to pay attention to the little signals in your life. It's like understanding that when your stomach growls, it's a sign that you're hungry and it's probably time for a snack. By becoming aware of these indicators, you may begin to regain control of your habits and make the desired changes. It's all about blending in with the right crowd of habits, my friends. Moving on to the next step. the law to make it obvious, and that is the best way to start a new habit. In this chapter, the author breaks down a super smart method: implementation, intention, and habit stacking. Think of it as a GPS for your habits. So, implementation intention is like setting a clear destination on your journey to building a new habit. It's the what, when, and where of habit formation. Imagine telling yourself, I will do yoga for 10 minutes in my living room at 7 a.m. every day. That's your roadmap right there. Now, habit stacking, well, it's as easy as stacking your favorite snacks in the pantry. You take a habit you already do regularly, like brushing your teeth, and then stack your new habit right on top of it. For instance, after brushing your teeth in the morning, you'll do your 10-minute yoga routine. See how effortless that can be? So with these 2 tricks up your sleeve, you'll have a crystal clear plan to kickstart your new habits and effortlessly fit them into your daily routine. No rocket science here, just simple, practical steps to make success a habit. Now let's move on to the next step, to make it obvious law and master any skill with the 1% rule. And that is, motivation is overrated. Environment often matters more. It's all about realizing that relying solely on motivation might be like hoping for a sunny day in the middle of a storm, a bit wishful. Instead, picture this. You have the power to sculpt your environment like an artist with their canvas. Now, think of your good habits as the stars of the show, and your bad habits as those background actors who shouldn't steal the scene. Designing your environment is similar to arranging the stage, such that the stars shine brightly while the less talented actors remain in the shadows. Imagine your goal is to eat healthier snacks. You could place a bowl of fresh fruits right on the kitchen counter, making it impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, those tempting chips and cookies can hide in the back of the pantry, out of sight and out of mind. This chapter is all about recognizing that your environment can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy in the habit game. So let's make it a friendly playground for your good habits and a tough obstacle course for the bad ones. Your environment is your secret weapon on this journey to becoming your best self. Now let's move to the next step on Atomic Habits Law. Make it obvious, and that is the secret to self-control. In this chapter, we uncover a golden nugget. Self-control alone won't cut it when it comes to changing habits. Imagine trying to swim upstream against a powerful current. It's bound to be an exhausting struggle. So what's the game plan here? Well, James Clear introduces a game-changing strategy. Instead of relying solely on your limited reserve of willpower, why not craft an environment that naturally guides you towards the right choices? It's like designing a road with fewer traffic lights, making it easier to reach your destination. Let me break it down further. Imagine you're on a mission to quit binge-watching TV late into the night. Your self-control is tested every time you sit down in front of the screen. But what if you relocated your TV to a less accessible spot in your home or removed the remote control? Suddenly, your environment encourages better choices without draining your willpower. In general, this chapter teaches us that reshaping our surroundings to guide us in the right direction can make a world of difference. It's like having a gentle river current carrying you towards your goals, making the journey smoother and less exhausting. All right, let's move to the second law on how to build better habits in 4 simple steps with the 1% rule. The author named this, Make It Attractive. This means that you need to make your desired habits appealing and enjoyable when planning. For example, if you want to exercise more, you can choose an activity that you like, such as dancing, hiking, or playing a sport. You can also reward yourself with something you love, such as a smoothie, a movie, or a massage. Or you can pair your habit with something you already enjoy, such as listening to music, watching a show, or chatting with a friend. Making your habits attractive helps you overcome the problem of resisting or avoiding them. It also helps you create a positive association with your behavior and increase your motivation. By making your habits attractive, you can create a powerful incentive that makes you want to do them. Let's get started with the first step, the law, make it attractive, that is, how to make a habit irresistible. It's all about making those good habits as tempting as a piece of chocolate cake on a cheat day. So picture this, temptation bundling. It's like a 2-for-1 deal at your favorite store. You're combining something you enjoy with a habit you want to build. For example, If you love binge-watching your favorite show, only allow yourself to watch it while you're on the treadmill. You'll be surprised how quickly that workout becomes a habit. And then there's dopamine, your brain's happy juice. When you associate your habit with a sense of accomplishment or joy, you're giving your brain a high five. It's like giving yourself a little pat on the back every time you do that habit, making it even more appealing. So overall, this is a simple yet powerful way to make your habits irresistible. Combine pleasure with purpose and watch those good habits stick like glue. The next step on how to master any skill with the 1% rule. From Atomic Habits Law, Make It Attractive is the role of family and friends in shaping your habits. It's like having your own personal cheerleading squad or a bunch of well-meaning but sometimes nosy advisors. This chapter dives into how our habits are heavily influenced by the people we surround ourselves with. You know how they say, show me your friends and I'll show you your future? Picture this story. Back in high school, I had a friend named Sarah. She was a fitness fanatic, always hitting the gym and eating healthy. At first, I thought she was a bit extreme, but slowly her habits started rubbing off on me. Her enthusiasm for health and fitness was infectious, and soon enough I found myself jogging alongside her and choosing salads over burgers. It just goes to show that the people around us can have a profound impact on our habits, for better or worse. So choose your squad wisely. All right, let's move on to the next step to make it attractive, and that is how to find and fix the causes of your bad habits. You see, it all boils down to our emotions. Emotions can be like invisible strings, pulling us toward those habits we know aren't good for us. Imagine you've got a bad habit like snacking on cookies late at night. You know it's not helping your health goals, but it's just so tempting. That's where a motivation ritual comes into play. Instead of reaching for those cookies, you create a ritual, like doing a quick workout or sipping on a cup of herbal tea. It's like rerouting the train of habit before it reaches its usual destination. Now, let's talk about inversion. It's like looking at things from a different angle. Instead of focusing on how enjoyable the bad habit is, we flip the story. So, with our late-night cookie craving, we might think about how sluggish we'll feel the next morning, or how it's not in line with our health goals. Inversion helps us see the ugly side of our habits and makes them less attractive. So there you have it, tackling those bad habits by understanding the emotions behind them and using motivation rituals and inversion to reclaim control. It's all about rewiring your brain for the better. Let's move on to the third law, how to build better habits in 4 simple steps from Atomic Habits, and that is make it easy. This means that you need to make your desired habits simple and convenient. For example, if you want to eat healthier, you can buy pre-cut fruits and vegetables or order a salad instead of a burger. You can also reduce the friction and obstacles that prevent you from doing your habit, such as cleaning your kitchen, stocking your pantry, or deleting food delivery apps. Or you can use the 2-minute rule, which is to do any habit that takes less than 2 minutes as soon as you think of it. Making your habits easy helps you overcome the problem of procrastinating or quitting them. It also helps you create a habit loop that reinforces your behavior and makes it automatic. By making your habits easy, you can create a smooth and effortless action that you can do without thinking. This is the third step to building better habits in 4 simple steps. And don't worry, making your habits easy doesn't mean making them boring or lazy. It just means making them more accessible and manageable. You can always increase the difficulty and challenge later once you have established a solid foundation. Remember, the easier it is to do something, the more likely you are to do it. So make it easy and make it happen. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far and want more book summaries like this, comment the word book so I'll notice. Let's get started with first step 2, making it easy with the 1% rule. And that is, walk slowly but never backward. This chapter emphasizes the power of repetition and consistency in building your habits and how to overcome the barrier of latent potential. Imagine you're building a sandcastle. You start with a bucket of sand and carefully shape it. Then you add another layer and another. Each grain of sand may appear small, but as you continue to add them, your castle rises. This chapter is a reminder that progress isn't always flashy or dramatic. It's often the daily, mundane efforts that lead to substantial growth. It's like saving money. Those small contributions add up over time. Think of it as tending to a garden. You plant the seeds, water them, and patiently wait for them to grow. You can't rush nature, but with consistent care, your garden blossoms into a vibrant oasis. So, whether you're learning a new skill, working on your fitness, or pursuing a personal goal, don't be discouraged by slow progress. Embrace the journey. Keep taking those small steps forward, and remember that greatness is often a result of persistence, not instant success. Now let's move to the next step from the law. Make it easy, and that is the law of least effort. This chapter is all about making your good habits as smooth as butter on a hot day, while making your bad habits feel like trying to push a boulder uphill with a toothpick. It's about simplifying the path to success by removing obstacles and making your positive actions effortless. Imagine setting up your environment so that doing the right thing becomes the default choice. It's like putting your running shoes right by the door, so you can't help but go for a jog when you see them. We're talking about setting up your life in a way that makes it easier to do what you want to do and harder to do what you'd rather avoid. It's a bit like rearranging your kitchen so that the veggies are at eye level in the fridge, making it more likely you'll grab a healthy snack instead of reaching for the cookie jar on the top shelf. All right, let's move to the next step from the law. Make it easy, and see how to master any skill with the 1% rule. And that is how to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. Imagine this. You've got a task hanging over you and it feels as heavy as a bag of bricks. The 2-minute rule is like a gentle push in the right direction. Here's the deal. If a task takes 2 minutes or less to complete, do it right away. It's like sweeping away those tiny pebbles that make your path feel rocky. Say you've been putting off answering an email or tidying up your desk. These are those little tasks that seem insignificant, but when they pile up, they become mountains of stress. So instead of procrastinating, dive in and tackle them head on. You'll be surprised at how satisfying it is to clear these small hurdles and build momentum for the bigger challenges. So remember the 2-minute rule. It's your secret weapon against procrastination, and it's so simple you can start using it right after this video. Now let's move to the next step from the law. Make it easy, and that is how to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. No need for superhero powers here. It's all about commitment devices and automation. Commitment devices are like your reliable friends who keep you on the right path. Picture this. You're trying to exercise regularly, but your cozy couch keeps calling your name. A commitment device steps in, making it harder to skip your workout. These are tricks and tools that help you stick to your good habits. They act as your reminders and motivators, preventing you from slipping back into old, unproductive routines. Now, automation, on the other hand, is like having a personal assistant for your habits. You set it up once and it handles the rest. For example, if you're saving money, automate your savings so it happens effortlessly. Automation simplifies your journey to success by removing the need for constant decision-making and willpower. It's like having a clear path paved with good intentions. But here's the magic trick. You can also use automation to block bad habits. Create barriers that make it hard to indulge in those unwanted behaviors, like setting up app limits for screen time. In a nutshell, commitment devices and automation are your partners in the battle of habits. They make building good ones a cakewalk and breaking bad ones a formidable challenge. So embrace these tools and watch your habits transform your life. All right, let's shift to the 4th law from the chapter. How to build better habits in 4 simple steps, and that is, make it satisfying. This means that you need to make your desired habits rewarding and pleasurable. For example, if you want to save more money, you can create a savings account that pays you interest, or use an app that shows you how much you've saved. You can also track your progress and celebrate your achievements, such as by marking a calendar, keeping a journal, or sharing your results with others. Or you can use a habit contract, which is to make a promise to yourself or someone else that you'll do your habit or face a consequence. Making your habits satisfying helps you overcome the problem of losing interest or giving up on them. It also helps you create a positive feedback loop that reinforces your behavior and makes it stick. By making your habits satisfying, you can create a fun and enjoyable action that you can look forward to. And don't worry, making your habits satisfying doesn't mean making them addictive or unhealthy. It just means making them more rewarding and meaningful. You can always balance your habits with moderation and mindfulness and avoid the pitfalls of instant gratification and temptation. Remember, the more satisfying it is to do something, the more likely you are to do it. So, make it satisfying and make it count. Let's get started with the first step from the law, make it satisfying, from Atomic Habits, and that is the cardinal rule of behavior change. This chapter unveils the key to making your habits stick. You've got to make them satisfying right now, not just some distant promise in the future. It's like having a plate of your favorite homemade cookies in front of you. Sure, saving them for later might be healthier, but that warm, gooey chocolate chip delight is just too tempting to resist. This book teaches us that if you want to stick to a habit, you've got to find a way to make it as satisfying as sinking your teeth into those cookies. It's about making the journey enjoyable, not just focusing on the destination. So, whether it's hitting the gym, studying for that new skill, or even saving money, find a way to sprinkle some instant gratification into the mix. That's the secret sauce that will keep you coming back for more, day after day. Now, let's move to the next step from law, make it satisfying, and that is how to stick with good habits every day. This chapter lays out a fantastic toolkit. First up, habit tracking. It's like having your own habit scoreboard. It helps you see your progress and gives you a sense of accomplishment every time you check off that box. Next, there's the concept of habit contracts. Think of it like a contract with your future self. You commit to your habit in writing, and it's like a gentle reminder saying, "Hey, you promised to do this." Take Benjamin Franklin, for example. He was on a mission to become the best version of himself. So he created a habit tracker with 13 virtues he wanted to cultivate. Every day he marked his progress. It's like a 200-year-old version of habit tracking. And it worked wonders in his journey for self-improvement. Moving to the next step on how to master any skill with the 1% rule from the law. Make it satisfying is how an accountability partner can change everything. Now you might be thinking, accountability partner? Is that like having a personal cheerleader or a habit referee? Well, not exactly, but it's just as awesome. Imagine this. You set a goal to hit the gym regularly, but your bed becomes this irresistible magnet every morning. Now comes your accountability partner, ready to face the challenge with you. They're like your trusty sidekick. But instead of fighting crime, you're battling your bad habits. You'll share your goals, your progress, and even your slip-ups with them. But here's the kicker. It's not all seriousness. You can turn it into a friendly competition. Who can do more push-ups? Who can resist the temptation of that office donut? It's like having your very own habit game show. So, whether it's your best friend, your partner, or your neighbor's cat, just kidding, maybe not the cat. Having an accountability partner can make your journey to better habits a whole lot more fun and successful. They'll keep you on track, celebrate your victories, and maybe even share a laugh or two along the way. So go ahead, find that partner, and let the habit-building adventures begin. All right, now let's move to the next step from the law, make it satisfying. And that is the truth about talent, when genes matter and when they don't. In this eye-opening chapter, we're going to smash that old myth surrounding talent. So here's the deal. Talent isn't this magical gift you're either born with or without. Instead, it's about understanding that everyone has their unique starting point. Some people might have a bit of a head start, thanks to their genes, but that's just the beginning. Now let's talk about the real deal, how to level up your skills. It's not about waiting for some mysterious talent to kick in. Nope, it's about rolling up your sleeves and getting to work. First, we've got feedback loops. Think of them as your personal improvement radar. They tell you what's working and what needs to be improved. It's like having a coach in your corner, pointing out the winning moves. Then there's deliberate practice. This isn't your everyday, mindless grind. Deliberate practice is all about pushing your boundaries, focusing on your weaknesses, and learning from your mistakes. It's like upgrading your skills on a daily basis. And we've got reflection. It's your chance to look back, see how far you've come, and set your sights on where you want to go. Think of it as your own personal GPS for skill improvement. So talent or not, remember this. With feedback, deliberate practice, and reflection, you're the captain of your own ship, charting the course to becoming truly exceptional. All right, now let's move to advanced tactics. How to go from being merely good to being truly great. An incredible way to master any skill with the 1% rule. Now let's level up from being just okay to becoming genuinely outstanding. This section unveils some savvy strategies that will propel you toward greatness. So get ready, because we're about to unlock the secrets to soaring high. Let's get started with the first chapter from Atomic Habits' Advanced Tactics, and that is the Goldilocks Rule. How to stay motivated in life and work. Ever felt like you're stuck in a never-ending battle between your goals and your motivation? Well, the Goldilocks Rule is here to rescue you from that struggle. Picture this. When a habit or task is too easy, it can quickly become boring and uninspiring. On the flip side, if it's overly challenging, you might find yourself discouraged and demotivated. So what's the secret to staying motivated in life and work? It's all about finding that sweet spot, that just right level of difficulty. When your habits or goals fall into this Goldilocks zone, they become engaging, exciting, and, dare I say, fun. Think of it as a perfectly cooked meal, not too raw, not overcooked, but cooked to perfection. This chapter will show you how to modify your habits and tasks so that they're challenging enough to keep you engaged, but not so tough that you want to throw in the towel. So remember, it's all about finding that Goldilocks level of difficulty in your pursuits, making them as satisfying as a bowl of porridge that's just right. Let's move to the next chapter from Advanced Tactics, how to go from being merely good to being truly great, and that is the downside of creating good habits. Think of it like this. When you're on a long road trip, you might hit a few potholes. Well, the journey of forming good habits can have a few bumps too. One of these bumps is laziness. You know when you get a taste of success and you think you've conquered the world? That's when laziness sneaks in. You might start relaxing, thinking you've already made it. But hey, there's always room for improvement. Then there's boredom. Imagine eating your favorite meal every single day for a year. It might sound fun at first, but soon enough, you'll be begging for some variety. The same goes for your habits. Doing the same thing day in and day out can become a snooze fest. Next, there's the loss of creativity. Sometimes, when you're sticking to your habits like glue, you might forget to think outside the box. You become so structured that there's no room for creativity to flourish. But don't worry, because recognizing these pitfalls is the first step in avoiding them. So, stay vigilant, keep things fresh, and never forget to let your creative juices flow. And there you have it, an in-depth journey into James Clear's Atomic Habits. How to master any skill with the 1% rule. Remember, it's the small, consistent changes that lead to extraordinary results. So go out there and start building those atomic habits that will transform your life. If you're hungry for more wisdom, don't forget that you can listen to the audiobook version of Atomic Habits for free. Just check the link in the description below. Now go out there and become the superhero version of yourself, one habit at a time. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice. It is important to conduct thorough research and consult with financial professionals before making any investment decisions. The value of investments can fluctuate, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Always assess your risk tolerance and investment goals before allocating your capital. I recommend you watch the next video in our series. Don't hesitate to share this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.